Good morning, good evening, good whatever time you're watching this at. Welcome to yet another Pipe Dream speedrun. I'm very excited about this week's speedrun because it features brand new actions that we just released for the MongoDB platform. I use Mongo myself for apps, and it's a great, easy to use NoSQL database. In particular, we're going to be building an alert system. If our app has a bug and it's creating data that doesn't make any sense, Pipedream will make a notification to our Slack channel so that way we can know to fix it. There are great error monitoring tools out there like Sentry, Bugsnag, Rollbar, etc., and they focus more on application code. This workflow will focus on data and make sure that your database isn't compromised by some bug and it's creating some crazy data that shouldn't exist. This speedrun is inspired by a Rails conference talk from 2018 in Pittsburgh by Ryan Laughlin, the CTO of SplitWise. I still remember it 4 years later, and I've used it all the time as a pattern in my apps to make sure they're running correctly. So let's get started. Ryan called this concept a checkup. And we like to run these on a timer basis, maybe check in once an hour, make sure that there's no crazy data that shouldn't exist in our database. So I'm going to use the schedule trigger. And I'm just going to say a custom interval of once per hour. We click save and continue. And we can generate a sample event just so that we can build our workflow from this specific time. I'll add a brand new step. And we're going to search for the Mongo app. You can see there's a MongoDB app. And I want to use the search documents action. So we'll open this and we'll connect our MongoDB account that I create with Mongo Atlas, and then we'll look at the collections. So to give you a preview of what this looks like, I've opened up Mongo Compass, which is like the GUI for interacting with the Mongo database. It's a collection of airline routes where you could see where the route starts, where it ends, how many stops it has. So for example, if I wanted to query and find all of the routes that ended up in Cleveland, I would do the destination airport of Cleveland. And here I can see there's a bunch of documents that were returned, Charlotte to Cleveland, Dallas-Fort Worth to Cleveland, etc. So let's go back to our workflow and choose the routes collection. And we can add a filter which performs the same exact operation you just saw. So we'll say the destination airport, Cleveland. And if we do a test, it'll perform the MongoDB query. The left-hand side of the filter corresponds with the key, and the right-hand side corresponds with the value. And we can see here, we're going to see the same exact data. Charlotte to Cleveland, Dallas-Fort Worth to Cleveland. Now, the whole point of this exercise is to find data that is invalid to let us know that there's a bug in our application code that needs to be fixed. In this example, let's say the destination airport is null or it's empty. It would be like Snowpiercer, but on air. This particular aircraft is just never coming down. Now, if this does happen, we need to set off the alert and let ourselves know that we need to fix this bug as soon as possible. And before we continue, you can see that my test results are out of date. So I'm going to click test again, which should be 0 because we don't have any routes missing in destination airport. So we'll add a brand new step here and we'll filter the workflow, or filter the data to make sure that we end the workflow if there are no documents in our collection here. So we'll choose a number and the condition will be equal to, and the value that we're evaluating is the return from our documents, search documents step, the return value. This is the array value. We need to return the length, which is an integer. And then we can compare it against the actual integer of 0. And we'll test this workflow, and it should exit early. You can see here that the condition is met for ending the workflow, and it would exit. But we're going to go ahead and add a Slack message just so that we can play and make sure that we're getting a Slack notification to our channel when this bug happens. So we'll send a message to public channel. I'll choose my Slack account, and I have a test channel that I use for these kind of scenarios. And the text will be invalid destination airport found. And the icon will be the fire emoji. If we click test, it will send the Slack message to the Slack account, which we could see if we go over to our Slack app. Thanks for watching, and thanks again to Ryan for sharing this pattern. It's been so helpful for me over the years, especially with Pipedream, to create a notification system to let me know as soon as there's a problem with my data integrity so I can respond in real time to any issues in my apps and serve my customers better. A link to Ryan's talk is in the description below. I definitely encourage you to check it out. Have a great day.